this is the biggest high stake, uh, you can say, trip of President Biden in the ground where the war is completely happening. Yesterday, we saw the attack at the hospital, which took 500 lives. That creates a lot of question. And this trip of Biden after that attack in Israel, he also made a statement that I know Israel is not responsible for it. There are other forces that are responsible for it. What is
Right.
your narrative? What is your point of view?
Precisely, Kanchan. Like, this is a high stake visit, and it's happening at a very crucial time, as we just know that yesterday, on Tuesday night rather, a horrific and deadly attack happened, and unfortunately 500 people lost their lives. Innocent people were lost their lives, I must mention, and since today morning, this tug of war is happening between Gaza and Israel, and a blame game is happening between Hamas and Israel since morning, and IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, came forward and provided evidence that it wasn't done by Israeli forces but by Gaza. So this was like still there's like it's all out in the open. However, like a statement by the President Biden is very crucial, where he said that it was done by other side after he saw the evidences presented by the Israeli forces and Netanyahu. So this comes very, it's a bold statement. And the trip of President Biden was cut short. He was supposed to visit the other side as well, but he canceled his visit. Uh, the statement by Netanyahu as well, he thanked the U.S. president for U.S.'s support and its nation's support towards Israel. So this is what's happening over there. As I mentioned
Also,
earlier.
Abhi, I also wanted to know that, US being the biggest developed country and being the top most rich country, if you talk about that, the young population is so much, the working population is so much there. At the ground, when Israel and Gaza are at war since October 7, where they in both the countries, if you see, there have been a lot of loss of lives.
Precisely. Around
US
2 million people are
president
affected.
supporting Israel is a big message to the countries, those who support terrorism, to the countries, those who do not take an opinion and voice their opinion on terrorism, also to the countries who are supporting Israel right
And
now.
not just that, Kanchan, it's a big alliance of powers are supporting Israel, and it's not about Israel or Gaza. It's about the fact that who is perpetrating terrorism and who is doing terrorism, and it was Hamas terrorists who started the war in Israel, and it's just the consequences which is being followed. And what we are seeing in Gaza is precisely that, which came after the terrorism took place in Israel, on Israel soil. So that's something which is needs to be taken care of. Yes, unfortunately, innocent people are getting affected. They caught in the wildfire, and it's very unfortunate situation. As we go by stats, around 2.2 million people are affected by this. Last night alone, 500 people who were getting treatment after they were injured in these ongoing wars. They were getting treated, and unfortunately, those 500 people lost their lives in a hospital. So this is something which everyone needs to come forward, and a unanimous and unity of sorts needs to be presented out, and either by diplomatically or by force. The war should be stopped as soon as possible. Countries like US, UK, and France, they should come forward. India is being supportive of
Yes,
Israel, and
they
India has
did talk about the
always been.
civilians who are getting
Precisely, and
affected.
India has always been had a clear stance against terrorism, and today it's well, in fact, a while back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well, condemned the attacks on the Gaza hospital. So this is something which needs to be, all these world leaders need to take cognizance of this apathy which is happening in that part of the world. Kanchan.
Also, Abhi, I think today the pictures that News Mobile is constantly showing, the fact checks that we are doing completely and our team is doing to show what is the real news and what is not the real news. On a lot of fact checks have been done by our team on Israel Gaza
Absolutely.
war that we have shown. the pictures are horrifying. It's a question on humanity. It's a question on people, those who are supporting terrorism. It's a question. I think this is a time when many important economies and even the developed nation need to come together and raise their voice against terrorism. What we saw in Gaza, what we saw by Hamas in Israel, is a setback to to the growth of any country.
Precisely, absolutely, Kanchan. Like, as you mentioned about the fact checking and the fake news which is being perpetrated on social media is very dear. While the people, in Israel and Gaza Strip are suffering with, on ground, a lot of people and a massive chunk of people, billions of people are getting affected by the fake news which is being perpetrated either from there itself or which can be initiated from anywhere in the world, and that's something which is driving people and people's opinion. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the humanity and the fact that a lot of people are dying, and I must correct myself, a lot of innocent people are dying, which needs to stop on immediate basis. And as far as fake news is concerned, Newsbell is on the forefront of breaking and busting all these fake news, fake pictures, which are being misleading millions and millions of people all across the globe, which derives people and makes people draw their own different perspective. So people are allowed to make perspective, that's their right. But if they are presented with wrong facts or wrong
Yes.
pictures or videos, that
That
completely
is what
derives
News
a thing.
Mobile has been
Precisely.
constantly working on to tell our viewers the difference in fake news and the real news.
Right.
Thank you, Abid, for
Thank you
having us. We
so
will
much.
continue talking on this because it's a very important subject for Joe Biden. Reaching in Israel is a very strong message for everybody to also know that the world stands against terrorism, which we see right now. Thank you, Abid, for joining us. Stay tuned
Thank
to
you.
News Mobile.